Morning. My name is Armando. I am the Jesus Holic. Wanted to just share a little story about what God did for me about the last 3 or 4 years. I've been attending Discovery for quite a while, but came here with some scars from being involved in a couple of other churches prior to coming here. So when I came here, I made sure to get involved. I was part of the prayer ministry, which I believe, I am still part of it, which I believe is one of the greatest ministries because you get a front row seat to see God at work. But it's also a ministry that didn't involve me directly too much with the church. And I was purposely doing it that way because I felt that God had me focus more on the outside. What I mean by that is I had quite a few friends that were not saved, and I was really focusing on introducing the Lord to them. And I did that for a number of years, and then I started feeling God calling me more inward focused, and I wasn't sure how He was going to do that. And all of a sudden, I was Connections Weekends here, and I stopped by a table for Stephen's ministry. And it was interesting because as I heard what Stephen's ministry does, I found it very similar to what I was doing with my friends. Meeting with them, talking with them about God, helping them through their issues, and I just wasn't sure what God wanted me to do. And then I came across this book, a book written by an individual that's a pastor in this church that spoke about empathy, relentless empathy. And I read this book, and it just moved me inside, saying, I'm doing all the things that this book is speaking about, sharing the word, but it came from a different perspective. It came from a perspective of not giving direction, but just walking through an issue with someone. And it was really, really interesting. And God started moving around my life where all of a sudden, all my closest friends were now believers. For the first time in my life, God surrounded me with some real strong men that believe in God. And I found that to be amazing because I wanted that all my life, but I never had it. So I made the decision and said, I'm going to jump into this Stephen's ministry and see what it's all about. And I got to tell you, gentlemen, it completely changed my life. Changed my life because we went through this 50 hours of training that just opened my eyes to things I've never, they were right in front of me, but I didn't see them. And after the training was done, I was assigned what's called a care receiver. And to be able to walk through a person's most critical time in their life. It was a major event that was happening with this gentleman. And just sitting by his side, walking him through, being there for him, was something that not only blessed him, but it was such a blessing to me. I'm happy to report that at the end, by the time we ended the relationship, God had restored everything in this individual's life. And to sit in the front row to watch how God moves and allowing me to be part of His work. Because all it really is about making ourselves available to allow God to work in us. It's really been one of the most amazing journeys for me. So one, I wanted to share that, but I also want to encourage the men in this church. Because, we are men. We're strong. We're not weak. We can go through everything. Stop looking to yourself. We are men who hurt, who have all the same worries in life. We have all these pressures on us. And I want to encourage you in regards to Stephen's ministry. It is a ministry that is extremely confidential. And it's not about a person telling you what to do, or what the next steps are. It really is a journey of discovering what God wants to do in your life. And having someone with you there next to you, walking through that, can be something that is really, really encouraging to you. And really, you allow God to show up in your life in ways you would never imagine. So if you're having any struggles, if you're walking through a crisis in your life, consider looking at Stephen's ministry. And don't go through the journey alone. We're not built to do this alone. It is a family. This is why we gather for a meal together. God does not want us to take this journey on our own. Because quite frankly, on our own, it is extremely tough. So I appreciate you allowing me the time to share.